Rise up. The Fantasy Church is open.
TJ?
Oh, yes, brothers and sisters. I want to welcome you to the Fantasy Church. And you know, Hebrews 13:5 says, keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have. And most times, brothers and sisters, that is true, except for when it comes to fantasy football. You can't be content with what you have. And the love of money kind of draws you into it, if you know what Brother Jefferson is saying. Now, I will lead the blind by a way that they not know. I will lead them down paths they have not known. So I'm going to tell you right now, who's not him? Brother Brockman.
Yes.
Adam Thielen is not him.
Whoa.
The Jets are number 3 in fewest fantasy points allowed to opposing receivers, and they've only allowed 1 touchdown to a receiver since week 8. And you know what that is? That's too much sauce. So Adam Thielen, he's going to have to sit on the pew next to us on Sunday. Isaiah Pacheco, listen, the Bengals' run defense was fantastic against Derrick Henry, right? They held him to 38 yards. What is Derrick Henry, Rich? The diminisher.
He normally is.
And he got diminished. So, I mean, this game, I think, is going to be all about Kansas City and Mahomes throwing the ball all over the field. I don't really see Pacheco having a big fantasy day, so you might want to sit him. And Jeff Wilson, listen, he has scored 3 games in a row for the Dolphins, right? But the 49ers, Chris, earlier in the week, when was the last time someone scored on them? Like 2019?
It's been a long time.
It's been a while,
in the second
right?
half, it's 4 straight games, second half shutouts.
Yeah, so, you know, it's going to be maybe like a revenge game with him and Elijah Mitchell coming back, but I'm not starting anybody against that 49ers D right now. So even though we talked big about Jeff Wilson yesterday, I'm going to say sit him out this week. Now, brothers and sisters, we're going to tell you about those men that are going to lead you down the path of glory, down that land of milk and honey to fantasy dominance. And that is Geno Smith.
Geno Smith is him.
Geno Smith is him. Listen, in the Rams' past 2 games against Andy Dalton and Mahomes, they combined for 580 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 pick. That's 23.5 fantasy points. Geno has a streak of 4 straight games with 22 fantasy points. I think your man Geno Smith is going to ball out.
Okay.
And guess who's not playing for the Rams this week? Aaron Donald. That's a sigh of relief, right, Chris? Like, no Aaron Donald.
Sigh of relief.
You're going to sleep a little better Saturday night. Also, Christian Watson, listen. Do as I say, not as I do. Last week in my own fantasy league, I sat Christian Watson and I lost by 8 points. I'm telling you right now, put the young bull in your fantasy lineup. He scored at least 20 PPR points in the last 3 games in a row. He has 6 touchdowns over that span. Chicago has allowed receivers to score at least 14 PPR points. That's points per reception, if that's how you're doing in fantasy. So I think Christian Watson is going to be a great play. And also Gus Edwards. Get on the Gus bus, man. 3 of the past 4 running backs against the Broncos have run for at least 109 yards. And last week they gave up 178 yards on the ground. So look for Gus and Lamar to eat a little bit.
Nice. Now
we come to that part where you got to like really Chris and Rich and Jason. You got to see what's in front of you and you got to choose with your head or your gut, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you right now, it's over. It's over. Head or gut, you got to sit Russell Wilson for the rest of the season. Like, I don't even think it's hard to say this. I don't think he even deserves to be on your roster at this point.
Well, Chris cut him, didn't you?
Dropped him for Mike White.
The Ravens have allowed just 1 QB to score more than 19 fantasy points since week 4. Yuck. And, you know, Russ was awful last week against the Panthers. You know, 9 fantasy points, 15 or less in the last couple games. It's just not good. So
bottom's falling out, man.
Bottom's falling out. But guess what, Russ? I'm coming to your party, baby. Let me tell you, I'm coming.
Well, I don't know if you're invited
to
now.
That party. And you know, I always like to let you know people who show the way, right? And these are guys you should pick up if they're valuable in your league. Jelani Woods, tight end for the Colts. He's now their tight end number 1. Tyrion Davis-Price, running back for the 49ers, because we all know McCaffrey could go down at any moment. You just don't know. So if you have him, you want that handcuff. And this is the guy I was talking about, Rich. Zonovan Knight, running back for the Jets. If Michael Carter can't play, I think Zonovan Knight is going to be a low-key, big-time fantasy pickup. And brothers and sisters, that is all we have.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Let us play.
Let us play.
Let us play.
I like it. Let us play.
Well done, DJ.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.